The Miami sun beat down on the tarmac at Miami International Airport as I gripped my suitcase handle, watching Isabella board the company jet with her executive team. At 35, I'd spent years building the tech backbone for her neural interface startup, Neuralink Innovations, right here in Florida's tech hub. She was 34, sharp and driven, the face of the company that had just landed a major investor pitch in New York. But today, in front of her colleagues, Mark from strategy, Tracy from marketing, and the rest, she'd dismissed me like excess baggage. "This trip is for closing deals, Diego," she'd said during our morning argument at the office. "You handle the back-end stuff. Let me lead." I'd pushed back. "We've built this together. Come on, Isabella, let's go as partners." She shook her head, already turning away. "Partners? You're the consultant. Stay here and monitor the servers." Now, as the team filed up the steps, laughing about the pitch deck, Mark clapped her on the back. "This is our breakthrough, Isabella. Investors are eating it up." She nodded, not glancing my way. I stepped forward, voice steady. "Isabella, don't do this. We leave in 10 minutes together, or we talk it out now." She paused at the door, phone in hand, and shot me a quick look. "Fly coach if you want to tag along." "I'm not waiting." The words hit like a shutdown command. Public, final. The team inside the jet fell quiet, waiting. She didn't hesitate. She boarded. The door hydraulics hissed shut. I stood there, unmoving, as the engines whined to life. The jet taxied, then lifted off, banking north toward New York. No rage boiled up, just clarity. Years ago, when we started Neuralink in our Miami garage, I'd insisted on anonymity for the patents I drafted, the core algorithms for neural data processing that powered their entire product line. "Keep my name out," I told the lawyers. "Let Isabella shine." It was my gift to her, to us. But she'd taken it as her solo glory, sidelining me in meetings, crediting her team over late nights we'd coded together. Last month, during a board call, she'd cut me off mid-suggestion. "Diego's input is noted, but let's focus on execution." The board chuckled. That was the first crack. As the jet's contrail faded, I pulled out my phone and dialed a secure line to Marcus, my old patent attorney in Coral Gables. "It's Diego. Activate Clause 14. A pause on the other end. "You sure? This pulls the IP Trust Foundation. Licenses suspend in 72 hours. "Do it," I said. "She's on the jet now, heading to pitch what I built." He confirmed. "Processing the resignation from the trust. It'll hit their inboxes mid-flight." I hung up and slid into my rental car, heading to the motel off the airport strip. No luxury suite, just a place to execute. In the room, I opened my laptop and scanned the secure dashboard for Byron Trust Holdings, the shell company I'd set up to hold the patents. My digital signature unlocked it. Clause 14 stared back. Upon resignation of primary author, all licenses revoke automatically. No reversal without consent. I'd written it as a safeguard, back when trust was mutual. Now, it was leverage. I clicked confirm. A timer started, 71 hours, 58 minutes. First twist, my name wasn't just buried. It was the co-author on every key patent, verified and timestamped. The board had signed off without digging, assuming Isabella's charm covered the details. My phone buzzed with a news alert. Neuralink stock dips 2% on rumors of legal review. It was starting. I thought of our early days, coding marathons in that cramped apartment, her excitement when the first prototype worked. "You're my rock, Diego," she'd say. But success changed her. Promotions meant prioritizing image over us. She'd started late nights at the office, vague about dinners with Mark. Whispers from her assistant hinted at more, but I focused on proof. Last week, I'd found a deleted text. "Can't wait for New York alone with you, Mark." No confrontation yet. Actions would speak. Another buzz, Isabella calling. I let it ring out. Voicemail. "Diego, what the hell? The jet's Wi-Fi just pinged an email from legal. Some trust resignation? Call me back now." I didn't. Instead, I forwarded the clause docs to a contact at rival firm Apex Neural in Los Angeles. "Interested in consulting? Full IP portfolio available." Reply came fast. "Details?" Game on. Back at the airport in my mind's eye, the team inside the jet shifted. Isabella stared at her tablet, the email open. "What is this, Alan?" she demanded of her lawyer on speaker. "A co-author just resigned from the patent trust. Name's tied to your core tech. Diego's name." Mark leaned in. "Your husband? He's listed as architect?" She froze. "Impossible. He consults. That's it." But the docs showed otherwise. My signatures on the filings from 2018. Panic rippled. Tracy checked stocks. Jerry from product paste. If licenses freeze, our New York pitch crumbles. I drove toward the beach road, radio off, plotting next moves. She'd humiliated me publicly. Now her empire teetered on my code. No violence, just consequences. The second twist hit me as I parked. Our joint account alert. She tried to transfer, pulling funds for the trip. But I'd frozen it that morning, preemptively. Her voicemail piled up. Diego, please. This is our life. Our life? She'd rewritten it without me. By evening, headlines escalated. Neuralink faces IP crisis mid-flight to investor meet. I watched from the motel, confirming the cascade. Clause 14 wasn't revenge, it was reset. She'd learn what partnership meant, or lose it all. High above the Atlantic, the jet hummed steadily as Isabella scrolled through her tablet, the investor pitch deck glowing on the screen. The cabin buzzed with chatter, Mark outlining closing arguments, Tracy prepping follow-up emails, Jerry from product joking about sealing the deal over dinner in New York. Isabella leaned back, sipping water, when her phone vibrated sharply. An email from Alan, the company lawyer. Urgent. Resignation from Byron Trust Holdings. Co-author on core patents has activated Clause 14. Licenses under review. Potential suspension in 72 hours. She sat up straight. What the hell? Mark noticed. Problem? She forwarded it to him. Some trust glitch. Diego's old consulting firm? He scanned it. This isn't a glitch. Your husband's name is on the author line for the neural processing patents. All of them. Panic flickered across the team. Tracy pulled up stock tickers. Neuralink shares dipped 3%, then 5%. Investors are noticing, she said. Isabella dialed Diego, voicemail again. Pick up, Diego. This can't be you screwing around. She hung up and called Alan directly. Explain this. Now. His voice crackled over speaker. The trust holds the IP backbone, algorithms for data encryption and neural mapping. Diego's signature is primary author, buried in the filings from startup days. His resignation triggers revocation. No licenses, no product sales. Isabella gripped the armrest. He's just my husband. He consults remotely. Alan paused. Legally, he's the architect. You signed off without auditing the trust details. The cabin went quiet. Jerry stopped typing. Mark leaned in. Wait, Diego introduced you to Raymond, the founder. He was there from day one. First twist. Isabella realized Diego hadn't just supported her. He drafted the patents during their late-night sessions in the Miami apartment, crediting her as lead to boost her profile. She dismissed his role as back-end help, but the docs proved ownership. On the ground in Miami, I sat at the motel desk, laptop open to the dashboard. Confirmation email, Clause 14 active. Revocation notices sent to Neuralink's partners, 3 major clients in biotech who'd licensed the tech for medical implants. I typed a quick response to Apex Neural's inquiry. Portfolio includes neural mapping patents, free of encumbrances post-resignation. Available for consultation. Their reply, meeting tomorrow in LA? We need this edge over Neuralink. I agreed. No hesitation. This was calculated. Years of her sidelining me, cutting me from board calls, prioritizing Mark's input, had built to this. Last night's deleted text from her phone, synced to our shared cloud before I locked it down. New York trip solo with you sounds perfect, Mark. I'd seen enough to act, but proof would come later. For now, the clause did the talking. Back in the jet, Isabella paced the aisle as turbulence hit, mirroring the chaos. Reroute to New York fast, she told the pilot. We can't land with this hanging. But Wi-Fi alerts kept coming. Another dip, now 7%. Jerry checked client portals. Biogen just paused their integration. They got the revocation warning. Tracy forwarded a news blip. Neuralink faces sudden IP hurdle en route to investor summit. Isabella slammed her tablet down. Diego, you bastard. She tried his number again, straight to voicemail. Mark pulled her aside. If he's the author, why hide it? And why now? She snapped. Because I left him behind. He thinks it's personal. Mark nodded slowly. Or business. You built the company on his work and forgot to credit the source. The team exchanged looks. Whispers started about her leadership. Second twist. Isabella checked the original incorporation papers on her device. Diego's trust was listed as silent partner, with veto power on IP transfers. She'd glossed over it during the funding round, trusting the lawyers. Now it locked her out. I stepped out of the motel for air, phone buzzing with alerts. A text from Marcus. Cascade starting. Clients pulling contracts. Good. Neuralink's value hinged on those licenses. Without them, the New York pitch was vapor. I drove to a nearby cafe, ordered black coffee, and reviewed the timeline. 68 hours left. Isabella's next move would be confrontation, but I'd prepared. Our joint assets, frozen. Company email access, revoked for me, but I'd mirrored key files. A call came from an unknown number, her assistant. Mr. Diego? Isabella needs you. The jet's turning back early. I declined. Tell her to read the clause. Hung up. Driving back, I thought of our wedding vow, partners in everything. She'd broken it first, with office flirtations and public slights. This wasn't destruction, it was reclamation. In New York airspace, the jet descended prematurely, landing at a private terminal. Isabella burst out, hailing a car to the conference hotel. Get the team ready. We pivot the pitch to internal restructuring opportunity. But inside the suite, bad news piled. Investors delayed meetings, citing IP stability concerns. Alan joined via video. You can appeal, but Diego controls the trust. Without his consent, revocation sticks. Mark confronted her privately. Call him. Beg if you have to. We lose this deal. Heads roll. Yours first. Isabella dialed, voice shaking. Diego, stop this. It's our company. No answer. She left a message. I get it. You're hurt. But ruining us? Come to New York. We fix it together. Silence. Jerry burst in. Press is calling. Want comment on the husband bombshell. I arrived at the airport for a flight to LA, ticket in hand. One last check. Shares down 10%. Apex confirmed the consult gig, 6 figures, equity stake. As I boarded, a final voicemail from Isabella. Please. I didn't know how deep you were in. But she had known, once. She'd chosen to erase it. The plane taxied, engines roaring. Up here, control shifted. Down there, her world unraveled thread by thread. By nightfall, Neuralink's emergency board call lit up my secure line. Indirectly, through a leak. They scrambled for damage control, but Clause 14 was ironclad. No reversals. I leaned back in my seat, altitude climbing. Partnership ended when she stepped on the jet alone. Now, consequences flew with her. The conference center in Midtown Manhattan thrummed with activity as Isabella strode into the main hall, flanked by Mark and Tracy. The investor summit was in full swing, booths displaying holographic demos, executives networking over coffee stations. Neuralink's scheduled slot was in 30 minutes, pitching the neural interface upgrade to a room of venture capitalists from Silicon Alley firms. Isabella clutched her revised deck, which now framed the IP issue as a strategic pivot. We spin this as innovation under review, she instructed Mark. Emphasize our team's resilience. But her phone vibrated nonstop. Stock alerts showing a 12% drop, emails from Alan piling up. Investors pulling back, Biogen demands contract pause. She ignored it, stepping onto the stage as the moderator introduced her. Next, Isabella Reyes on Neuralink's next-gen neural mapping. The room held 50 suits, notebooks open, eyes sharp. Isabella launched in. Our platform revolutionizes data processing for biotech applications, secure, scalable. Slides flipped to revenue projections, then hit the IP slide. We're addressing a routine trust update, strengthening our foundation. Questions fired immediately. A VC from Horizon Capital raised his hand. Heard about Clause 14. Your core patents are revoking? How does that affect the demo? Isabella fielded it. Temporary measure. We're in talks with the trust holder. Murmurs spread. Mark whispered from the wings. They're checking phones. News just broke. Another investor. Your husband filed the resignation mid-flight? This smells like insider sabotage. The room tensed. Isabella pushed forward. Focus on the tech. Our algorithms are unmatched. But the demo glitched. Neuralsim wouldn't load, citing license error. Panic hit. The revocation was live, blocking software access. Back in LA, I'd landed at LAX and checked into a no-frills hotel near the tech district. My phone showed the summit feed streaming live. Isabella on stage, faltering. Apex Neurals rep, Carlos, met me in the lobby. Diego, your patents are gold. We need them for our edge computing line. Consulting contract ready. I signed digitally. 6-month gig, 200K retainer, plus equity. Neuralink's loss, Carlos said. Their pitch is tanking. I nodded, pulling up the dashboard, timer at 52 hours. Client revocations confirmed. 2 more biotech firms halted integrations, citing legal risks. First twist, a leaked board memo hit my inbox from Marcus. Neuralink's emergency vote on Isabella's leadership, triggered by the stage flop. She'd lost the deal. Horizon walked out mid-pitch. In Manhattan, the session ended in chaos. Isabella exited to a side room, team trailing. What happened to the demo? She demanded of Jerry, who checked his tablet. License keys invalid. Clause 14 auto-blocked our servers. Tracy scrolled news. Neuralink CEO's marriage implodes company's IP. Husband's revenge. Isabella snatched the phone. Damage control, call press. Mark pulled her aside. It's worse. I dug into old files. Diego's trust isn't just author. He has veto on all transfers. You initialed it during funding. She froze. He never mentioned. Mark pressed. He did. Back when you pushed him out of meetings. Said it was protection for our future. The room spun for her. Flashbacks to arguments where she dismissed his warnings as overcaution. Now, the veto locked sales. Products offline globally. I stepped out for a walk along the boulevard. Phone buzzing with voicemails from Isabella. Diego, the pitch died. Investors gone. Call me. We need to stop this. I deleted them. Instead, I texted Carlos. Forward the acquisition outline for Neuralink assets. Apex wanted to buy the shell cheap, post-revocation. My role, advisor, ensuring clean transfer. No malice, just business. Years of her flirting with Mark, late strategy sessions, had eroded trust. Last month, I'd confronted her assistant. Is something going on? Denial, but the hesitation spoke. This clause. It exposed the betrayal without a fight. At the hotel, Isabella paced the conference suite, dialing Alan. Appeal options? He replied via video. Petition the trust, but Diego controls it. Without his sign-off, injunctions hit in 48 hours, halt all ops. Jerry burst in. Clients suing preemptively, claim breach. Stock plunged another 8%, total 20%. Board chair, Angela, joined the call. Isabella, explain the oversight. How'd your husband embed this deep? Isabella defended. He supported quietly. I led. Angela cut in. Led us into a trap. Succession talk starts now. Mark nodded grimly. Fly back to Miami. Confront him directly. Second twist. Isabella pulled up an old photo from company archives. Diego shaking hands with founder Raymond at the 2018 launch event, documents in hand. The caption, silent architect behind the breakthrough. She'd cropped him out for promo materials. Now, a journalist emailed. Story on Reyes' hidden partner, confirm? I boarded a shuttle to Apex's office, reviewing the photo leak on my feed. Isabella's world cracked open. Her flight back booked, desperate. My reply to the journalist, anonymous tip. Truth surfaces. At Apex, Carlos outlined the buy. 50% valuation, your patents make it viable for us. I agreed, adding. Ensure ethical use. No poaching Neuralink staff. Deal inked. Timer, 48 hours. Consequences mounted. Her empire, built on my code, now scavenged. In the air over the Carolinas, Isabella gripped her seat, staring at the clouds. Mark sat beside. This is personal. You left him for the spotlight. She whispered. And Mark? He shifted. Business first. But doubt seeded. Had she betrayed more than IP? Landing in Miami, she raced to our old apartment, key in hand. Door unlocked. Unusual. Inside, papers scattered. Divorce filing draft, my signature. Diego? Empty. A note. Read the clause. Partnership ends. She sank, realizing the veto wasn't just legal. It severed their shared life. Board text. Resign or we vote no confidence. The climax peaked. Loss total. Fight futile. By dawn, headlines screamed. Neuralink crumbles. CEO's personal betrayal triggers corporate fall. I watched from LA, Apex tour underway. No triumph, just balance restored. She'd face the board. I'd build anew. Clause 14, not destruction, accountability. Isabella's car screeched to a stop outside our Miami apartment complex, the engine ticking as she grabbed her bag and bolted up the steps. The key turned smoothly in the lock. Diego had never changed it, a remnant of trust now weaponized. Inside, the space felt off. Papers lay scattered on the kitchen counter, and her laptop sat open to the company dashboard, frozen on a red alert. IP licenses revoked. Operations halted. She dropped her bag and rifled through the documents. A draft divorce petition, time-stamped yesterday, with Diego's electronic signature. Attached was a full Clause 14 breakdown. Every patent listed, his authorship verified, veto powers highlighted. He built this for us, she muttered. sinking into a chair. Her phone lit up with bored texts. Resign by noon or we file no confidence. Investors fleeing. Stock at minus 25%. Clients suing for breach. She dialed Diego again. Voicemail. I'm here. The apartment. Come home. We talk. No response. Mark called next. Board's voting. Apex Neural just bid on our assets. Diego's consulting them. Isabella's stomach dropped. She pulled up the acquisition outline leaked online. 50% valuation. Her core tech transferred clean. Jerry texted. Teams walking out. Servers down. No paychecks incoming. First twist. Scanning the clause file, she found an addendum she'd signed blindly in 2020, granting Diego sole control over trust amendments during personal disputes. He'd added it after a fight over her late nights with Mark, warning her then, protect what we built. She'd laughed it off as paranoia. Now, it sealed her isolation. In LA, I walked into Apex's conference room, Carlos at the head with legal docs spread out. Sign here, advisory role, patents licensed exclusively to us. I reviewed. Ethical clauses intact, no staff raids. Pen to paper, deal locked. My phone vibrated. Isabella's location pinged from our shared app, still active. She was home. Carlos clapped my shoulder. Neuralink's done. Your move positions us for biotech dominance. I nodded, forwarding the signed contract to Marcus for filing. Timer, 32 hours. Revocation wave 2 hit. International partners in Europe paused trials, citing compliance risks. News feed updated. Neuralink faces lawsuits. CEO blamed for IP oversight. No pity. She'd chosen the jet over us. Isabella paced the apartment, pulling old files from a drawer. Our original garage setup notes. Diego's handwriting on algorithm sketches. I erased you, she said to the empty room, voice breaking. A knock. Her assistant, Sophia, with a box of office effects. Board's meeting virtual now. They want your keys. Isabella handed them over. What about Mark? Sophia hesitated. He's positioning for interim CEO. Says you mishandled the trust. Betrayal stung deeper. Mark's texts earlier. We pivot without you. She confronted Sophia. Was there something between them? Sophia shrugged. Late meetings, yeah? But this? Diego planned it. Door shut, alone. She drafted an email to the board. I take responsibility. Resignation attached. Sent. Stock dipped another 10%. I stepped out of the Apex meeting, air crisp in the tech corridor. Voicemail from Isabella. Divorce papers? Really? After everything? I called back, first time. You activated it when you boarded alone. Her voice cracked over the line. I was wrong. Humiliated you. But this destroys us both. I paused. Not us. You. I built safeguards for partnership. You broke it. She pleaded. Split the assets. Come back. We renegotiate the trust. Second twist. I revealed the veto's depth, linked to our prenup, voiding joint claims if infidelity proven. Mark's texts? I have logs. Silence. She denied it for months, but evidence mounted. Hotel bookings synced accidentally. That's not, she started. It is. Clause ties to proof of breach. Hung up. Apex tour continued. Demos of their neural prototypes, now boosted by my IP. Back in Miami, Isabella scrolled the logs Diego mentioned. Shared cloud access lingered. Messages with Mark. New York dinner, just us? Her replies, flirty emojis. Guilt hit. Not just business, personal fracture. Board call incoming. Angela, resignation accepted. Lawsuits incoming, settle out of court. Tracy added, clients want refunds. We're bankrupt in weeks. Isabella logged off, staring at the clause file. It outlined transfers, patents to Apex unless she secured my consent. She drove to Marcus's office in Coral Gables, bursting in. Block the deal. I'm the founder. Marcus, calm. Legally, Diego is. You signed a trust override. He showed filings, her initials on every page. He warned you. Read before signing. She deflated. How do I fix this? Get his signature. Or lose everything. I boarded a flight back to Miami. Closure needed. Apex deal paused pending my input. In flight, alerts. Neuralink files Chapter 11 whispers. Employees furloughed. Her fault. Amplified by neglect. Landed at MIA. Rental car to the apartment. Door ajar. She waited inside, papers in hand. Diego. I entered, set my bag down. Talk. She slid the clause across. Reinstated. We divorce clean, half the remnants. I shook my head. Apex offers full value for the tech. You get nothing tied to betrayal. She stood. I messed up, with Mark with you. But we started this together. Argument escalated. She grabbed my arm. Fight for us. I pulled away. You didn't. Jet took off. Doors slammed behind me. She chased to the hall. Wait. Outside, sirens wailed. Press vans circling. Hashtag clause 14 trending. I drove off. Her calls ignored. Timer, 24 hours. Her empire crumbled. Mine rebuilt. No violence, just truth enforced. By evening, news broke. Neuralink CEO resigns amid IP collapse. Husband's veto seals fate. I checked into a motel, drafting final trust transfer. Consequences landed. Her reckoning, my reset. Partnerships end. Accountabilities win. Sunlight filtered through the motel blinds in Miami as I packed my bag. The final revocation timer expired at midnight. Clause 14 had run its course. Neuralink's servers offline. Patents transferred to Apex Neural via the signed advisory deal. My phone showed the headlines. Neuralink files for bankruptcy protection. CEO Isabella Reyes steps down amid IP scandal. Shares worthless. Lawsuits from clients stacking up. I texted Marcus. Trust dissolved. Proceeds to settlement fund. No gloating, just closure. The apartment confrontation last night replayed. Her pleas, my exit. She'd admitted the Mark affair in tears. It started as work, then. I chose ambition over us. Proof in the log sealed it. Prenup clause activated. Assets divided legally clean. Now, forward motion. Across town, Isabella sat in a modest law office in Coral Gables, signing the bankruptcy petition. Angela, the board chair, had called earlier. Companies sold piecemeal. Apex gets the tech, you get the blame. Jerry and Tracy had jumped ship to a rival firm, Mark angling for a payout. Her new job offer came via email. Junior consultant at a small biotech startup in Fort Lauderdale. Half her old salary, no corner office. Start Monday, it read. She accepted, humbled, necessary. Sophia, the assistant, stopped by with a box. Heard you're moving out. Good luck. Isabella nodded. Tell the team. I own this mess. First twist. The lawyer slid over a settlement proposal from Apex. Royalties on future uses of her tech, but credited to Diego's patents. Signed for 20% of licensing fees. Fair split. It included a non-disparage clause. No more hashtag clause 14 memes. I drove to the airport, ticket to LA in hand. Apex wanted me full-time, building ethical neural tools for medical apps. No cutthroat plays. Voicemail from Isabella. Papers filed. Divorce hearing next week. I get it. You protected yourself. I called back. Voice even. Not revenge. Accountability. You built the image. I built the foundation. She paused. I erased you to shine alone. With Mark, it was escape from the pressure. Stupid. Admission hung. Infidelity not just emotional, but a breach that triggered the full veto. Learned too late, I said. But rebuild. That's the point. Hung up. At security, a text from Carlos. Deal funded. Your equity vests today. New chapter. Consulting for startups. Emphasizing transparent partnerships. In the Fort Lauderdale office days later, Isabella reviewed code for a neural rehab device. Basic, but meaningful. No jet setting, just hands-on work. Her phone buzzed. Court notice. Assets split 60-40 my favor per prenup. She didn't contest. Mark called. Heard you're consulting. Need a reference? She declined. Handle your own fallout. News updated. Apex launched upgraded tech, crediting original architect Diego Reyes. Her old board faced SEC probes for oversight lapses. Second twist. A letter arrived from the judge, divorce granted, but with mediation clause. Parties encouraged to co-parent future IP ethically. No kids, but symbolic, and without enmity. She texted me. Saw the launch. Proud of what we started. Sorry I broke it. Reply. Forgive the past. Build better. Months passed. In LA, I led a team at Apex, patents licensed fairly, biotech firms paying royalties for life-saving implants. No shadows, full credit. Isabella thrived in her role, mentoring juniors on trust and partnerships. Read the fine print, literal and personal. At the divorce hearing, we met briefly, civil, quick. Judge, clean break, no alimony. Both move on. She nodded. He gave me the wake-up. Outside, handshake. Good luck, Diego. You too. No reconciliation, lessons learned. The moral landed clear. Betrayal in marriage or business erodes foundations. Isabella bore responsibility. Lost empire, rebuilt humbly. I reclaimed mine. prospered through precision, not spite. Clause 14 wasn't punishment. It was justice, lawful and final. Partnerships demand equity. Ignore it. Pay the price. In tech's fast lane, trust codes deeper than algorithms.